What is going on, guys? Pomson87 here, and today is the first episode of my brand new career mode series. If you don't know, if you haven't watched the trailer yet, then, well, go check that out first of all. But if you don't know, then I'm going to be taking the Williams F1 team from, well, basically to try and wield the World Championship with them, which I haven't actually done for nearly 20 years now. We'll be paired alongside Valtteri Bottas. The settings are Legend AI. We'll be doing 50% race as well with full practice, full qualifying. So all of that's pretty much full. All assists are off if you don't watch any of my videos. All assists are off apart from the racing line. So just going through selecting my helmet now, and obviously my country, which is Australia. As I've sped this up a little bit just in the interest of time, as obviously with F1 2016 videos, you include a lot of practice, as practice is way more in depth than previous games. Choosing the racing number, which I chose 87, which is fitting because it seems though 87 is part of my YouTube name. The next thing to set was my name, which is obviously the name well, my name in real life, obviously. My abbreviated name I chose as ARJ, which is different from normal F1 drivers who usually use the first three letters of their last name. The AIJ, basically my first name, middle name, and last name, the initials to there. And the team, obviously I'm running, as I said at the start of the video, is Williams Racing. So our aim is to take them from where they are now, which is about 4th in the ranked list of, you know, on the R&D screen stuff. And we're going to take them all the way to the World Championship. We're not aiming to do that in this first season. This first season, basically just get things off our feet, get comfortable with the car, get quick at the game, which I'm still quite rusty as. I mean, the first race record in Australia was only about 2 days after I got the game, so I was quite rusty still. So there, just looking at the new contract in the paddock, you can see Claire Williams on the sofa just over there, and now we can have a look at the laptop. Just looking around the whole paddock area of sorry, this isn't the paddock. This is the motorhome. It looks really nice, and the background obviously changes. Depends what country you're in. Like Singapore, probably have more city blocks and stuff like that. And now we're going through the tutorials, the stuff that we need to go through in practice sessions, and all the other things like info about them, like the formation lap and the safety car, which are both new features for today. Well, one of them is new, one of them is returning. And look at the new rivalry, which obviously my first rival is Valtteri Bottas, my own teammate. But now we're going to exit the laptop as we're going to go straight to practice 1 for the Australian Grand Prix.
Welcome to Melbourne, where the practice session is about to start for this weekend's Australian Grand Prix. The pre-race talking is over. Now it's time for the drivers to show their worth. So Anthony, lots to do of course in these sessions, lots of programs to run. What are you looking for when you jump in the car for free practice?
Well, you have basic checks first of all. You know, is the car working correctly? What are the track conditions like? And you'll be chasing that as the session goes on. Things like that. Then you start getting into the nitty-gritty of it all, and they become more like test sessions where it's all about gathering new data, testing components, tweaking the setup, and so on. So there's only so much actual practice that these drivers need. Most of them will be plenty familiar enough with the track layout, either from previous experience or from the simulator.
So here we are, first time in our Williams F1 car. Well, this is our rookie season, so it's the first time in an F1 car in general, really. So now we're going to look at the screen and look to see what practice programs we're going to get on with during this session. We're going to start with the first one, the track acclimatization, the most basic one, just to get used to the track and get a good rhythm going, hopefully. So we're just going to select on that now. We're going to go straight on the track. If you don't know already, I'm sure you've already watched everyone else's videos on it, but if you don't know already, we just basically go through a series of gates, hopefully a decent enough speed so you can get either green or purple lap time. The purple means you get the maximum RP, so you get more development tokens to your car. But now, obviously this is footage of us going through the first sector on Melbourne, and so far we've got all purple gates. We get a bit of a lock-up, but we still get purple. Purple for that sector, and we're going to skip on to the end of the lap just to save time, really. We got mostly purple apart from that green there, because I sort of have wheel spin on the exit corner, and I got green there because it's a tricky final corner in Melbourne, really. It's caught me out in the past few games as well. I don't know why it's been so tricky, but we managed to get purple lap time there, so that's definitely a whole heaps of RP points for our development program, which is always useful. And there's another achievement for us as we're going into the R&D program. Obviously, going to through the first race in Korea, you get a whole heap of achievements, which is really nice and beneficial. But now we're looking at the R&D screen, and you can see we're 4th on the list there, behind Red Bull, Ferrari, and Mercedes. Half surprisingly is in 5th. So they must have brought already a whole host of upgrades, because I'm pretty sure they're like 7th or 8th in real life. But as you saw there, we actually chose an aero update for the next race. Because obviously the Williams car isn't that great with downforce, it's more based towards straight line speed. Basically like I think Martin Brundle once called this car very slippery in the straight line, but not very good downforce, which is why it struggles around tracks like Monaco. But anyway, through the practice sessions and the tutorials and stuff like that, we got a purple in the acclimatization, a green in the qualifying pace, but we weren't able to set a good standard in the tyre wear test, unfortunately. So we got about half then, if we got one purple, one green and one red. And now you can see the results from the practice sessions there. As we're now going to get resource points for all the tutorials that we completed during that practice session. That goes towards R&D, obviously. If you don't know already, you could spend these resource points on development for future, like there's also engine drag, stuff like that. And now we're being introduced to the new rival program that's in this career mode. Obviously our first rival will be our teammate Valtteri Bottas, who we have to try and outperform and outcompete, really. And obviously if we complete the rival program, I don't actually know what happens when we complete the rival program. I think we'll just get selected a new one. If we fail it though, I'm not quite sure what happens. I suppose you have to try and beat your rival again. But there's a qualifying goal, start 7th or higher and beat Valtteri Bottas. There are 2 aims. If we don't do those 2 aims, then we get, well, the team won't be too happy with us, that's for sure. And as you can see, this is qualifying 1 now, and it's really heavy rain, unfortunately. It's not good conditions at all. This is not really what I wanted. As it was, I didn't really feel that comfortable around this racetrack, and heavy rain just sort of compounds it even more. And the setup, I didn't really use the setup at all, really. That was me just filling with the aero, putting a little bit more on, because I felt like I had a lot of understeer in this car. Codemasters themselves have said that the default setup is probably only about half a second slower than any custom setup they can put on. Whether that is true or not remains to be seen. But anyway, we're going to go out onto the track now. Obviously, now that we're going out on the track for the first time in qualifying, park firmware conditions do apply, so we can't actually change the setup at all. I think only apart from the front wing and the fuel loads. As we go on the track now, we've got another achievement, I think, for changing the setup, which literally I just changed the front aero from like 6 to 7, and that gave me an achievement, so that was pretty easy. As you can see, it's just torrential conditions. We're locking up into the penultimate corner and go wide. Hopefully we don't do that on our actual flying laps as we go through the tricky final bend. We get a little bit of wheel spin, but it's not too bad. As we're off the racing line, we're going to cross the line, start our flying lap, and see where we end up, and see if we can hopefully get through qualifying 1, as we get an awful lot of wheel spin. Coming out turn 2 there is pretty bad, as we're now going to fast forward onto the end of, I think it was our best lap here. I think this is still the first lap actually, as Verstappen sets the fastest lap so far, fastest lap time. So going through the final corner, so tentative, we just don't have confidence in these conditions. I think the Williams obviously isn't the best in wet conditions anyway, as we know from real life races. As we go P5, maybe P6, as Hamilton in front of us, I think, sets the fastest lap time. As we go complete another lap, we might have corner cut there, so apologies for that, as we are still going quite green. So the personal best so far is actually Perez, who I think came out of the pit lane, who led us by, which is it's an improvement from 2015. If this is F1 2015 game, the Perez would just sit in front of us and ruin an entire lap. So that's an improvement, I guess, as it's up still for the first sector of our lap, which is going to continue for the first sector. It might be a little bit of a corner cut there, but really I think that sort of hindered us as we got up on the curb and got like a very loose at the rear end. But now we're going round to the final part of that lap, as it's still green, still personal best, but it's only by about 2-3 tenths, it's not by much. We're still struggling in these conditions, although we do get faster than Fernando Alonso, and I think we return to the garage, as we actually thought at the time that we were safe and through, and we're basically retired straight after that, and we only just got through. We're P16. only just got through to qualifying 2, so that's very close. Kind of lucky in a way, really, that no one else improved their lap time. So we're now going straight through to qualifying 2, which is also in heavyweight conditions. The conditions haven't improved, unfortunately, as I was kind of hoping they would, and I don't feel confident about this session, really, if I'm honest. Bottas is probably gonna get through to Q3, but we're probably not. I mean, this is the end of our flying lap in the session, and I think we actually are going to improve from our Q1 time. But whether that'll be enough to get to Q3, I'm not quite sure. What was the lap time? 1:43. I think it is. I can't view it very well in the preview build, as we get an awful lot of wheel spin coming out of turn 2. As we pretty much get a tank slapper on, and that completely ruins our next lap. It's so easy to do, just get a little bit of wheel spin, lose traction, and make a big mistake in the wet conditions. And I think we did actually go back out in the session again, but I don't think we improved our lap time, unfortunately. So at the moment we're in P7 on the grid, but that's not going to remain P7, unfortunately. Yeah, as you can see there, we're now down to 15th on the grid, so it's not a very good place to start at all. Interestingly enough, Bottas got a grid penalty for illegal blocking. It says on the timing sheets 5-place grid penalty, so he might actually be starting in front of him in the race. I guess we'll see. But remember, it is our first time in this car, so we're just getting used to it. Hopefully the team will understand that and be fairly kind in their expectations of me. Hopefully they won't put me too much in the red zone of the team expectation thing. So we've got resource points for the session, so they'll go towards R&D for new car parts, hopefully. So now we're going to go look onto the rivalry, and Bottas is probably going to walk me because he out-qualified me. Yeah, he got fastest in every sector pretty much. He beat me in every sector and a fast lap time. He's just miles ahead of me already, so I've got some catching up to do. And we're going to go from 5 down to 4 and then down to 3 because we failed both objectives. Not a good start to the career, unfortunately. This is only an Australia thing. After a sneak preview after this race, our qualifying pace and that does pick up. I don't know what it is about this track. I just didn't feel comfortable with it. I guess Melbourne is very much one of those tracks that is just like one line is the optimal thing. There's not one of those sort of several lines. Plus, it's very tricky on traction, especially like sector 2 and stuff. But anyway, put aside all those excuses, we're now going to go out for race day. The team has put for us a 2-stop strategy as the main one. High tyre management, though, apparently needed for it. But the only thing is, I've seen in other people's career mode videos that a 1-stop is achievable around this racetrack. So I'm just wondering, will the other AI go for a 1-stop instead of a 2? Not quite sure, so I guess we'll see for this race. Hopefully the 2-stop will actually work and will actually prove to be the quicker race strategy. But I guess we'll find out for this race, as we're just going to start now going towards the formation lap, which is new for this game, obviously. As this would be a good time to get used to the clutch point in the manual starts, try and build up the revs and have a good launch, hopefully formation lap, and they'll basically teach you things for the actual start for the race, so you can get a good start against the rest of the AI. But we're going to go through quick motion now for the rest of the formation lap, as obviously it's a very slow lap and there's not much action on it, so we're going to go fast motion through the rest of it now. As a 15th place on the grid behind Jenson Button, ahead of Sergio Perez, as he's just doing some tyre warm-ups, weaving side to side, going very close to the back of Button as they brake late. We've got to warm up the brakes as well, get them in optimum temperature. We actually go past Button there, he's going quite slowly. If you do collide with any AI car, then you do get disqualified from the formation lap, and it does actually just set you to the grid. Another thing to note, which I don't think I mentioned yet in this career mode series, is that the damage will be on the highest difficulty. So any contact with an AI car will mean I get front wing damage potentially, and that could potentially affect my performance during the race. So now we're just lining up to the grid, back to full speed now. As they line up the grid, this obviously the AI takes control around the final corner and lines it up for you. Hopefully for the next game they will let you do it yourself, but even so, we're now got the 5 lights, so we're going to be ready out. Hopefully get a good start against the AI. Got 5 lights out and away we go. Get a fairly good start, a little bit of wheel spin, but not too bad. It looks like Gutierrez ahead has a fairly poor start. We're going too wide is Button and Gutierrez into turn 1. Will there be an accident with the AI? I know it's quite common in this game. Looks like there is. There's a yellow flag. We have to go off the track to avoid a few people there. And unfortunately, that means we have illegally overtaken someone. We have to give the position back. I think that was Gutierrez we passed off the track. It's very annoying though, really. We had to go off the track to avoid all the cars that were going really slowly. I still can't tell who that was who spun out. I think it was someone in the top 10 though. It might be like a Red Bull or a Ferrari or something, as we go up the inside of Verline there, who overtook us there as we had to let Gutierrez through. We also accidentally let Magnussen and Button through as well, which is very annoying, as hopefully we can get past them through the first couple of laps, as the AI generally much slower in the first couple of laps. Anyway, we're going to have a look back now the replay and see who caused that first corner collision there. It's a Red Bull Ricardo, and he tries to go down the inside of his teammate, and that's unforced contact really. Bad mistake from Ricardo in his home race, so very unfortunate. But now towards the end of that lap, we dive down the inside of Magnussen, no contact, the AI backs out of it. I just saw an opportunity there as the AI braked quite early for that corner. And now we've got 3 cars ahead. That's Button, Hulkenberg and Gutierrez are going very slowly. We dive down the inside of 2 of them. A nice double overtake there. We couldn't get Gutierrez, unfortunately. He was just a bit too far ahead, and it would have been a bit of a audacious dive bomb. And considering damage was on the higher setting, probably wouldn't have worked out that well. And I think there was actually a yellow flag there, so it might have been contact between Hulkenberg and Button. I'm not quite sure. To get horrible wheel spin through the final corner, that might mean Hulkenberg has a run on us as a Force India. Does have actually pretty good straight line speed, but then again, so do we, and he can't get the position. But now going to lap 4, we're right behind Gutierrez, as I think he's on soft tyres as well, but we have better pace advantage, and unfortunately we went a bit too deep in the first corner, mucked up our line, and I think we had a lot of wheel spin going through turn 2, so we couldn't get the position, and we actually stayed behind Gutierrez for the rest of the stint. We couldn't catch up to him, unfortunately, which is very depressing considering he is a Haas car. And well, we did gap the guys behind, so we were sort of in clean air, but we just weren't setting any blistering lap times. And come lap 10, we have come in for another set of soft tyres, so we're definitely sticking to the 2-stop strategy. This is when the engineer though did recommend we pitted, so we are at least going to stick to that well enough. As now come back out in 19th place, and wow down the order. But Pascal Verline behind us, so he might have already pitted as well, I'm not quite sure. Luckily he's not going to get the position over, so we did maintain in front of him. But now come lap 13, this will be now. Several cars are in the pit lane, now got to 14th place, as including Button as well. And you can see many people are now on the medium tyres around us, so that means they are probably on the 1-stop strategy, which would be very annoying if they are, considering I'm on the 2-stop, which is probably a bit slower. But behind us, Pascal Verline has retired from this race. He was actually holding up Button and all that behind, but unfortunately, I'm not actually quite sure why he retired. It might be a mechanical fault there. But you can see the 2 Haas cars battling. We think we tapped the back of them, and luckily didn't pick up any damage through the second sector. But you can see they're going very slowly there. Gutierrez has pushed Grosjean off the track nearly there. It's very forceful from the 2 Haas teammates, and we capitalised that and went right round the outside of Grosjean through the penultimate corner. That was a pretty sweet overtake, and we're not finished yet. We've got DRS, we've got slipstream. We're going to dive up the inside of Gutierrez and make a very nice move into turn 1. Have a little bit of a front lock up, but we stay cleanly on the track. Gutierrez, I think, ran a little bit wide, and I think he might have had contact once again with his teammate, because now Grosjean is back in front of him. So it's another unforced error from the AI there. As now on lap 20, we've got tyre wear once again affecting us during this race. We've got Perez trying to go round and outside. Tyre wear is just one thing I definitely need to improve on for future episodes of the career mode, because I might have good pace, but I'm just having terrible tyre wear at the moment. So one thing I definitely need to sort out. So here we are, coming into the pit lane for our second stop. We're going onto a set of super soft tyres as we just about make the pit lane there, blocking up both front tyres. You can see the yellow flag. Romain Grosjean is out of the race. Does that mean there will be a safety car? Let's find out. And yeah, you can see that safety car is deployed, and the safety car actually comes out onto the track just in front of us and actually starts us, and we got a lot of wheel spin coming out of the pit lane, and we have to full on brake there to avoid hitting the back of the safety car, as we do not want to be disqualified from this race. As you can see there, it's actually there, Grosjean has retired. I mean, it must be a mechanical fault. If it's pulled over the side of the track like that, I don't think it's collisional damage. So we're going to have a look at replay in a second, see what happened to Grosjean. But before we do, I just want to say this has brought a race right back into shape. We were probably looking for what maybe like 12th or 13th at best if we were going to peel off some F1 cars on slow medium tyres at the end of the race. But now the pack bunched up, we're on super soft tyres, we've got a pace advantage. So we should hopefully we're now looking for a points finish, which would be pretty good in our home in our first and home race, I should say as well. To be scoring points on our debut. But as you see there, Grosjean completely blew up his engine, and that's made him retire from the race. It's very common, I've seen in videos for AI to just have engine blowouts just randomly like that, but I suppose it just happened in real life, if not a little less. So now stuck behind Ricciardo, Button and Hulkenberg, I believe, as they're driving really slowly. They're driving to a delta, which we didn't get for some reason. I don't know if it's a glitch or whatever. But we just didn't get the delta time to set to, so we just cruised up to the back of Ricciardo and just got stuck behind him the entire race so far. But now we've got green flag racing once again, and we couldn't capitalise on the restart. Unfortunately, we just mistimed it really. Of when to start accelerating again, and we're stuck behind Ricciardo. Hopefully we can get past them. Remember, they are on either soft tyres or medium tyres, so we still have an incredible pace advantage. Maybe not over Ricciardo because he's a front winning car. So now going to skip to the cinematic view behind the three cars there. Hopefully they're going to hold each other up, well, at least hold Ricciardo up, so we can make an ambitious move down the inside. Looks like we have pulled it off with no contact there to either me or Ricciardo. So that's good to hear, as it's very opportunistic there, as the AI are going quite slow. Now we're on the back of Button, so we've got Hulkenberg there, who's in 10th place, so if we get him, we get a points paying position. Looks like we've got a few more cars ahead of Hulkenberg as well. And that was a nice clean move down the inside of Button, and there is a yellow flag, so I don't know what the hell happened there. The AI are a bit weird sometimes when you do overtake them down the inside, and Jensen Button is now out of the race. So there must have been some real dramas happening behind as we go round the outside of, I believe that was Ericsson, who was a lap down. Obviously he's not having a very good race. So now replay cameras, and what happens here? So we go down the inside, we leave Button plenty of room, and he goes completely out wide, smacks into Ricciardo. He's now facing the wrong way. The Mano drives around the outside of him, but the Renault smacks right into him, and that's Button's front left tyre completely gone. He is completely out of the race, as obviously is now out of the race, so that skips the replay cameras back off to me. But now in lap 27, we've got 2 laps after this, all the race left to go. We've got two Force Indias in front of us, so hopefully we can get in front of them. They're both on medium tyres, so we're in the slipstream. DRS is not active yet, so it's going to be a very nice dive bomb if we can do it till we lock up the inside. We keep on the racing track, and we just about pull off as a very sweet move, if I don't say so myself. So it's very, very hard to be late in the brakes into the first corner there. And now we're in the point spin position. Unfortunately, it's going to be hard to keep it that way, as Ricciardo on the soft tyres is right behind us. We've got a little bit of wheel spin going out of the corner. High speed contact there, so very aggressive towards Ricciardo. We swoop round the outside of him. Luckily, no contact there. In fact, we're going to have a replay of that to just see how close we got to Ricciardo's front wing. So there's Ricciardo slipstreaming us down the back straight. Bit of contact side by side there as we swerve slightly across him. We just swerve right in front of him, but Ricciardo doesn't actually back out of it. So I'm impressed about the AI there, still putting up a fight. And down the start finish straight in the final lap, Ricciardo tries to go for the outside line, but then again we've seen that sort of glitch before, where the AI just sort of just run wide and lose about 3 seconds to you if they try an outside pass into turn 1. It's a bit frustrating. I've seen it in like most of the other Co-Masters games as well. The AI can't seem to race you when they're on the outside line, so oh well, that's a bit of a shame. But this is the final few corners now. Unfortunately, the battle with Ricciardo did mean that we couldn't catch up to the back of Perez and Sainz, so we're going to have to settle for 10th place, which is a good recovery, I suppose. We didn't really deserve to get points this weekend. We weren't that quick, if I'm honest. We're going to come across the line for P10, which isn't too bad. Our teammate finished, I think, up the order in P like 6 or 7 something, so It's a bit bittersweet, but remember this is our first race in this car. We only had this game for 2 days, and I have noticed in other YouTubers' videos that the AI seems to be really OP around Australia for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, unless it's just to do with inexperience of the game or whatever. But I'm not quite sure anyway. But Lewis Hamilton won the race. That's a solid drive for him, probably from pole position. I can't remember if he was on pole or not. Probably. As we're now looking at Julian Palmer finishing his first race in 16th place, so bit of a disappointing drive for him. So I suppose 1 point, we can't be too sad about that. We're not really going for the championship this year. We're mainly just focusing on developing the car and making sure we're in a strong position for next year for me and Bottas to take the fight to Mercedes and Ferrari and Red Bull and stuff. But I can't imagine the team would be too happy still though. I mean, we did get massively outperformed my teammate. Even though it was our first race, we're going to lose heaps in the rival championship. And you're going to see that at the end of the video. But anyway guys, if you enjoyed this race and you enjoyed this video, then please smash the like button. Please subscribe if you're new. The next race in Bahrain is already recorded, as is China actually as well. And I can tell you guys from prior knowledge that those 2 races are actually really good races. So please check them out when they come out. Hopefully the Bahrain race should be out in the next few days, hopefully. Fingers crossed. But I'll see you guys then for my next video. Hopefully I can redeem myself and hopefully get much more votes and hopefully beat my teammate as well. That'd be awesome if I could. So I'll see you guys then for my next video. So I'll see you then. Palms out.